What's up, guys? Trevor here, Tag Performance and Nutrition. We are going to chat a little bit about getting back into doing athletic things. And this is for all you former washed up, never was, wish you were dreamers, dreamer athletes like myself. Maybe you're a former college athlete, maybe you're a former pro athlete, maybe you're a former high school athlete like myself, or and haven't done anything for a while, and or you're just done. You just finished up, and you're like, oh, what do I do now? What do I still want to be competitive. I still want to compete with myself. I still want to push myself. I still want to do athletic things. Or you've been sitting on the couch watching football. Football season's done now. Now we're into what we got. College basketball, March Madness is starting up. The Olympics just ended. Uh, Baseball, World Baseball Classics going on. You're watching these things, and you're sitting. You're that Monday morning quarterback. You're that couch potato quarterback, and you're just like, oh, I used to be able to do this. I wish I could do this still. I used to be able to throw the ball a mile and run a 4.40. First of all, no, you didn't. You know how fast the 4.40 is. I ran a 4.840 at 37, and I thought that was pretty good. So again, I wish I could run a 4.40. I don't think I ever was able to. Will I ever be able to? Probably not. Will I certainly try to get to a 4.7 or whatnot? Yeah, I still want to do these things, and you might be that same place. You're struggling with the energy to climb the stairs, or you have aches and pains just tying your shoe, or getting on and off the toilet. That's hard work. That shouldn't be hard work. Or worst of all, your kids come in and ask you, "Hey, Dad, I want to go play catch in the backyard," but you can't because you're too fat, you're too out of shape, your shoulders blown out, and you can't do anything. But you want to do that stuff. You don't want to see that the look of disappointment when they come in and you tell them you can't because you're too out of shape, or you're too banged up and injured, or too fat to do these things. Uh, and again, if you choose to do these, if you choose to be fat, you choose to be out of shape. Again, that's a choice you make. That's fine. That if you want to live that life, but I know if you're watching this, you don't want to be. You want to be lean, athletic, energetic, and be able to do all these things in life. So when your kids come in and say, "Oh, Dad, can we go play?" or "Mom, can we go to the playground and play?" You say, "Oh yeah." You jump right off the couch and say, "Let's go." And you're not worried about getting injured. You're not worried about getting hurt. You're not worried about looking goofy. And that's fine. If you look goofy doing it, that's fine. Nothing's gonna bring more joy to your kid than when you're playing with them. I remember growing up, my parents, my dad would play basketball with me, and he wouldn't let me win. I'd try to beat him, and eventually, the more I worked at it, the more I was able to beat him. And then finally, I was taller than him and could beat him. And then he got older and could still beat him, and those things. So nothing brought more joy to my face than knowing that my parents were there to like be part of it and play catch with me, or play. Uh, we played baseball with tennis balls with the neighbors, and basketball on the basketball court, or even at grandma's house. Grandma would be playing kickball with us, or things like that. So that there's nothing better than that type of stuff. If you're an adult, and eventually if I have kids, that's my goal, is to be able to play with them and see the smiles on their face, because they know that's the best part when they're parents, when they're grandparents, when they're aunts and uncles, and coaches myself. I can do the stuff with my athletes that I train. I think that makes a big difference in it. I know us adults, as us former athletes, that athletic part of us, that athlete side of us, never leaves. It's part of like our identity. We still want to identify as that, as an athlete, but we're not maybe necessarily playing the competitive sports. Or you're like me, you play an adult league, town ball. I play town ball baseball. This will be my 20th year coming up, and you still want to do these athletic things. Maybe it's just play pickup games, or maybe it's play pickleball or tennis, or whatever it is of sports. You want to be able to do these things as you get older, and you can't right now because you stop doing them. You stop doing athletic things, and you just sit and wallow in self pity and play that victim, when you can still do these things. If I can do it, you can do it. It's You just have to get back on the horse. You have to get back up and keep doing it. It's not it. You want to sprint, you see all these things, and you see all these Instagram guys or people training hard, and like they're older than you, and you're sitting on the couch doing nothing. Uh, Again, once you reach your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, it's not downhill. These should be your glory years. These should be your glory days. Stop looking at it as like, oh, I'm just getting old, so I can't do these things anymore. No, you can't do them because you don't do them. Sure, you're going to get slower. You're going to slow down as you age. You're not going to be able to jump as high or throw as hard. Things like that's just natural, but you can still do these things and still do them to a solid ability. Whereas they will affect your life in a positive manner. But now you just sit there worried about, oh, if I get up and sprint, I'll blow a hamstring or sprain an ankle or go throw a baseball, blow out my shoulder. Well, yeah, if you just do it and go 0 to 100 right away, you can't do it that way. You have to ease your way back into it, and you have to prep your body for it. It's just like when you're training as a kid, you can't just jump right into it and expect to be great at something. You have to prep. I say sprinting is like riding a bicycle. You're not going to forget how to do it, but you can't just jump on again with sprinting like you can a bicycle and just ride it. You can't jump right into sprinting and go 100 miles an hour right off the bat. Otherwise, you're going to be like a bicycle and blow a tire. And your tire in cases your Achilles, your hamstring, your calf. You have to ease back into it. You have to prep your body so you can get back into sprinting again and getting faster again. But you can still do these things as you get older. And it's the mindset that you have. A lot of times that's the main thing holding you back. Is you don't think you can do these things because you're afraid of getting hurt or afraid of getting injured and falling and getting back up or embarrassing yourself. But again, if you're doing anything like training or doing athletic things, you're going to get hurt. That's part of it. So that you can't have that fear. You got to get that out of your mind. But how do you do that? You prepare your body. You get back into things. You ease into it. You don't go 0 to 100. You're not a sports car, just pedal to the metal, just 0 to 100 in 5 seconds or whatever a fast car does. It's meeting yourself where you are and prepping your body and getting your body prepared so you can do these things again. So it's like people will come in and they want to train 7 days a week. Well, you haven't trained in 10 years. So let's start at 2. Let's start at 3. Somewhere there and meet ourselves where we're at. If you want to sprint and do athletic things, you want to jump, maybe for jumps, maybe we're not starting with just giant, like large hurdle jumps. Maybe we're starting with a smaller box. Maybe we're starting with some low intensity, extensive pogo jumps, some plyo, those things. We're just bouncing for a little bit. Get the tissues prepped, get the ankles, get the feet back to working again. If we want to sprint again, we're doing those things too. But maybe if we're starting running with or sprinting with a sled or a hill sprint, just because that incline is going to provide some resistance, or that sled's going to provide some resistance where we're not going full speed, we're not extending our legs and having poor mechanics and just that rustiness from not doing these things in years, where we are going to tear a hamstring or a calf. And it's not doing too much too soon. That is important. It's meeting yourself where you are currently and then building a plan that progressively overloads, that progressively increases in volume or intensity or variations of exercises and movements that push you forward and adapt as you adapt. So because we don't, again, if you do too much too soon, a lot of times that's the problem too, is you do too much volume too soon, whether that's sprinting, whether that's lifting, whether that's jumping, throwing, and then you're so sore or injured that you don't do it for 2 weeks and you fall off and you're like, oh, I'm not doing it anymore. I just can't do it anymore. But we have to meet ourselves where we're at and progress and take it slow. Because again, it's a journey. It's not, oh, I'm just going to go sprint again. I just want to sprint again for 5 weeks and then be done. No, you should do this stuff all your entire life. I saw a video of a guy, like, there's like an 80 something, I don't remember if it's 81, 82, something like that, doing track meets still. Like, that's awesome. That's the coolest stuff in the world. That's what I want to be doing. Not necessarily track meets, but I like sprinting on the track. I find that track's kind of a sport where it's like, oh, you just sit around a lot. I mean, maybe a master's track is different, but like high school, like college track, it's like you go to the meets, but half the time you're just sitting around doing nothing. Whereas if you just want to get faster, go get some buddies and race them on the track, and then lift and do your other sports. I think that's a better way to do it. But I want to be able to do these things. I want to sprint and jump and lift heavy weights and play baseball as long as I can and play basketball as long as I can. All these things I can do because I actually train to prepare my body and keep my body prepared. Whereas there was that point where I stopped. I was just lifting weights and still playing baseball, but I was always getting hurt and injured and blowing hamstrings and things like that. Was this because I wasn't doing sprints and I wasn't doing jumps and I wasn't doing athletic stuff in my training. The only things I was doing that was during baseball. Yes, I was lifting, but lifting is not the most athletic thing. Squatting up and down, that's just going up and down. Benching is not very athletic. Hinging is not the most athletic. Olympic lift is a little bit more athletic. Coordination, synchronization, that type of thing. But I wasn't sprinting, I wasn't jumping. I was doing like bike work on the airdyne bike and that type of high intensity cardio and CrossFit type stuff. And I was just banged up all the time. I didn't have any load management. I didn't have any rhyme or reason behind it. No, like really progression. But then, like I kept getting injured. Training was part of it. Not training, the athletic stuff was a big part of it. But also my sleep and nutrition, that was probably a part of it too. But I'm not even going to talk about that because that's a whole nother topic. But I finally started feeling better. Once I got to 30, late 20s, I probably started doing some more sprinting and stuff like that. But 30 through now 37, I've totally revamped my training. I'm training smarter, I'm training harder, and I'm doing more athletic things. It's the sprinting, it's the jumping, it's the throwing, crawling, climbing, hanging, tumbling. All these different athletic movements combined with heavy lifting, lifting faster, things like that, being explosive with the lifts. Combining all these things into a smart plan, but I'm also training hard. But I'm not training balls to the wall every day. I have days where I'm just moving around. Like today, this morning was just a movement day, doing some animal movements, monkey crawls, monkey swings, bear crawls, crab walks, duck walks, those types of things, and just getting the body to move and feel good. Not any heavy loading, but just letting the body kind of move through different motions, challenging it through different ranges of motion. These types of things are great. But if you're just sitting around looking and dreaming about getting back into it, that's the first. That's great that you want to do it, but just dreaming and thinking about it isn't going to get anything done. You got to actually do it. And if you want to be athletic again and do athletic things again, build that lean body, you have to start. And you got to start where you are. So get off your butt, find a plan, find a program that eases you into it. Again, jumps. Don't just immediately start jumping, trying to jump out the gym if you haven't jumped in 5 years. If you haven't sprinted in 10 years, you're not just going to go run 10 100-meter dashes. Maybe it's a 10-yard jog to start. Or like I mentioned before, some light sled sprints, some hill sprints that aren't full speed. And heck, your full speed probably isn't full speed yet. Sprinting is just going as fast as you can at that time. So you're going to build that up. And it is then it's adding in some strength work. Go lift. Or maybe you're someone who has been lifting, but then you think about jumping or sprinting and you get hurt. Just the thought of it, you pull a hamstring. You got to do this stuff to get better at it and be athletic. And whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, you can start adding this stuff in. I have 60-year-old clients that we started with some sled sprints or hill sprints or just some light, shorter sprints, 5 yards, 10 yards. And we build from there as they progress. There's no one-size-fits-all plan where, do this for this many weeks, and then you're good. And then this for this many weeks. No. It's a person to person. That's true individualization, is adjusting to each person as they are progressing. And sometimes you have to pull back. That's perfectly normal too. It's not a straightforward progress or process. But meet yourself where you are. Get doing the things. Ease into it with the sprints. with the jumps, with getting back into playing a sport, throwing a baseball. You're not going to go throw 200 pitches. You may start it with just some light toss with the kids or with your buddy or whatever it may be, and then work your way back into it. Maybe it's 20 throws this day, then 30 the next day, then 50, then boom, boom, boom. Or sprints, it's 10 yards for a couple weeks. Then you go to 20-yard sprints. Oh, then 30, and you're feeling good. And then you start adding some change of direction. You start adding some max velocity where you're building fly 10s and things like that. You got to build back into it. You can't just start. If you haven't done anything for 10 years, don't expect to be where you were, especially with speed, especially with jumping. That stuff, that power, you lose that quick, and that's tougher to build and it's tougher to get back. Whereas strength is usually a little easier. Usually you get your strength back a little easier. But if you are trying to get back into things, you just got to start and not bite off more than you can chew, not do too much too soon, because that usually ends the progress or halts your progress. That's usually how you get hurt right away. And again, you are probably going to get hurt at some time. That there's no such thing as pain-free training. That doesn't exist. Pain-free performance doesn't exist. I made the mistake of used to marketing this as part of mine, but of my program, but it's not true. There's a lot of pain. I'm in pain every once in a while. I get injured just because I like to challenge myself, and that's part of the process. But getting back into the athletic things is awesome. It's one of the best things you can do for your health, besides sleep, besides nutrition, is doing athletic things, because you're going to move better. Yes, you're going to move like a human's supposed to. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're going to be able to do all things in life you want. Your kids come, again, they want to go to the park, play on the playground. You can join in. You can get up the stairs. You can get off the toilet without you can fall. You won't need the what were those things called? The where the old granny's laying on the ground, she's got the push button. I can't think of what they're called now. But you won't need that. Slip on the ice. Be able to catch yourself, hopefully. Sometimes you can't, but if you do, you'll be able to bounce back up usually. Your body's going to be more resilient. Your bones are going to be more resilient. Tendons, ligaments, muscles. You're less likely to get injured. Whereas you just sit on the couch, yeah, you might not get injured, but you're not going to be healthy. Your health markers are going to be better. Your blood work, all that stuff is going to be better. Your heart health is going to be better. So getting back into doing athletic things is one of the best decisions you can make. If you need help with that, reach out. I'm here for you. Drop a comment. Send me an email, trevor@tagpn.com. We can help you become that everlasting athlete. So again, you can do everything in life you enjoy. And we start with just meeting you where you're at with the everlasting athlete blueprint. So we kind of figure out where you're at, figure out your goals, figure out where you want to get to, figure out what you've been doing, all that stuff. And then we start developing a plan. And then we start instilling that everlasting performance plan, your training and your nutrition. We start dialing that in, figure out how many days you're going to get in. We start there. It's not throwing everything at you at once. It's smaller habits. Maybe that first thing is we get you in, start training 3 days a week, and boom, you're doing that for a good month or so, and you're feeling good. When we start adding in some nutrition habits, boom, you start dialing those in, boom. And then we start working on those habits for life. That sleep, that mindset, the recovery, the breathing, all this stuff, it comes in different steps. There's no specific, everyone does it the same way because we're all different. And that's where I come in and help you with it and figure out what you need at that point, what's going to make the most sense at that point. But typically within the first 12 weeks of that, you are sprinting again, you are jumping again, you are moving again without that fear of injury, and you are feeling better, more energized, so you can, again, do all these things in life that you enjoy. You can go on the walks, go on the hikes, play with the kids, pick up games, all these fun things that you want to do in your life that you should be able to do in your life without that fear of injury, without constantly being full of aches and pains, and without feeling like crap all the time. And bonus, you're going to look better too. So if you guys are interested, again, reach out. But get back to doing athletic things. It is one of the best things you can do for your health, for your life, and just make life better. What Pat McAfee always says is, are you alive? You're alive, but are you living? And with being athletic and doing athletic things, you're going to be able to live life to your fullest and enjoy it to the max, is what really we should want from our lives, is have our best life possible and be able to live that life and fulfill that life and fulfill your dreams. So that's what I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with more soon. Be athletic for life. Join the Everlasting Athlete program.